Hey everyone, Sam Ovens here, and welcome to this final module in week 4 called Cross-Pollinating Promotions. So in this module, I'm going to show you how we're going to take together all of the promotional strategies that we've covered in week 4, so all of the organic methods and all of the paid methods, and I'm going to show you how we can take all of these methods together and mix them together and cross-pollinate them, which means, letting one feed the other and that one feeding another one, and really just constructing a complex web where they all tie to each other and really allow us to touch people on multiple different channels and multiple different platforms. And this is a really powerful method, and I'm going to show you how you can do it, like the theory and what it looks like, but then I'm also going to show you how to execute it and how to plot it all on your WarMap calendar on a daily basis so that you can actually, just wake up each morning, check your WarMap and know exactly what you need to execute on each day so that you can really brew the perfect storm in your market. And by that I mean, create a campaign and a promotion that's touching everyone everywhere, and you just start to be omnipresent and everyone in your market starts seeing you everywhere. And that's when, things start to snowball and you start to gain recognition and scale within your niche. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to start off with what a platform is and why it's your greatest asset in business. And then I'm going to show you how to grow your platform with small, deliberate efforts every day. And then how to grow your platform by cross-pollinating networks. And then we're going to bring together all of our client attraction methods into one cohesive plan. So we're going to bring them all together into one simple action plan. And to do that, I'm going to provide you with a winning formula that I recommend when using, a winning formula that I recommend using when it comes to mixing promotions. So you might think, I don't know what to do when it comes to promotions, like how much ads do I run? Do I do organic? What do I do each day? Well, I'm going to show you a winning formula that you can follow. And then finally, we're going to take some action and we're going to plot your promotions for the next 30 days on your WarMap. So we're going to map out the next 30 days from now and exactly what they're going to look like and exactly what you're going to execute each day. And then we're going to take action and get it done. So let's jump into it. So what a platform is and why it's your greatest asset. So what a platform is it's a way to reach your audience or your market. So let me give you a really clear example. So let's say I'm in the e-commerce niche, right? Well, my market is people who are in the e-commerce niche. These people are all over the place. Now, to reach these people, we have to go through other people's platforms to get in front of them and to communicate with them. Now, other people's platforms could be things like Facebook, it could be things like YouTube, it could be LinkedIn, right? These are platforms that other people own that have our market within them. And for us to get to these people, we need to use these platforms. And when we use these platforms to reach these people, we can bring them onto our platform. And our platform could be our email list, it could be our customer list, things like that. Because once we have their email list, once we have them on our email list, now we can just send them an email. And we don't have to go through, Facebook or LinkedIn anymore. So this is what a platform is. You have your own platform. It's your email list and all of that. And other people have huge platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn and all of them. And we're trying to basically use these people's platforms to bring people over to our platform. So we're basically farming this to get these people over here. The more people you bring over here, the more powerful your business is, the higher your wealth is, everything. The people who have the biggest platforms themselves are the ones that are the richest people in the world. What's the largest platform in the world? Well, it's Facebook right now. But what's the most valuable platform in the world? Well, it's Amazon right now. So, Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, or he's got the most shares in Amazon, and he's the richest man in the world. It's because he owns the most valuable platform on planet Earth. The second richest person is probably like Mark Zuckerberg. It's because he has a powerful platform too. So we can go through these people's platforms and start building our own. So other people's platforms, these are platforms we feed off of through organic methods and paid methods. And they include Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, etc. Now, for the most part, the main ones we're going to be focusing on are Facebook and LinkedIn. When it comes to organic, we use Facebook and LinkedIn. When it comes to paid, we just pretty much use Facebook. You can use other ones, but it just simply is not necessary because you can get to such a huge scale and keep complexity low by just focusing on these. Now, your platform. This is your own network that you can reach without having to pay to play. And this includes your email list, your customer list, your sales pipeline, Facebook friends, LinkedIn connections, retargeting lists, etc. You know, one of the awesome things about having Facebook friends is that you can direct message them and there's a high chance they're going to check it and read it, right? This means that it's free to use. It's, you know, we don't have to pay to play. But when you have fans on a Facebook page, I mean, you can't really message them, and if you do, it feels impersonal to them because it's a fan page messaging them, not you. And it's far less personal, and when you post on that, your engagement is going to be way less. You pretty much, Facebook forces you to pay to play. But when you grow organic Facebook friends and your personal LinkedIn connections, it's a different game. That's why we prioritize it in this program. And you can also, as people click on your ads, you know, you add them to your retargeting list and things. So that's your platform. So we're using other people's platforms to bring people over onto our platform. And when it comes to platform, there's two main things, size and depth. So two key factors are the size of your platform and the number of people in your network, and the depth of your platform, which is the quality of the relationships that you have. So it's not just about who has the biggest platform. I mean, there's people who have small platforms but hyper-responsive members on them. And those people are often, you know, very powerful. You know, the depth, I would say, is more valuable than the size. Because small, like, minority groups can actually, like, create bigger change than large, disengaged groups, right? So if you're thinking about growing your platform, think a lot about the depth of it. It's not just about size. A lot of people make this mistake. And where most people go wrong is they don't build their own platform at all. And most people never care to build their own platform, and they constantly go to the market cold through other people's platforms, and they're under their control. You know, if you don't build your own platform, you always have to go and pay to play. And then if prices go up and things change, then you could get forced out and you're not even able to pay to play. And so now you've got nothing to use, you've got no platform of your own, and now you've been driven out of other people's platforms. And you're constantly at the mercy of the platform owners, which is not a nice place to be. And then some people build their platforms, but they don't bond with their platforms. So some people build their own platform, but they focus on scale only and forget the importance of depth and the relationship they have with their platform. And if you want to be a 7-figure consultant, you must build your own platform every day. You must be constantly trying to add to it, and every day you must constantly deepen your relationship with members in it. And this is a daily exercise in practice and not an overnight miracle, so you've got to keep that in mind. You don't just get a huge platform and a relationship with them overnight. Does not happen. Now, let's talk about the power of your platform. Now, here's an example, which is Kim Kardashian, right? So, as of right now, when I'm recording this video, she has 111 million followers on Instagram. And if she's just to do one post, you know, one post could just be a photo, and all she has to say is, hey, like, I'm trying out this new brand and I think it's cool, right? And people will pay her $1 million or more for her to just post that because of her engagement with her platform and how big it is. So this just shows you the value of it. And Kim Kardashian isn't even scratching the surface. You know, Kim Kardashian is someone who really has a big following, but it's on other people's platforms, right? So while Kim Kardashian, she's got a huge following, but because it's not even her platform, her net worth isn't that big. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's rich, but her net worth is nothing compared to these guys, Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. Now, these guys have a platform that is way bigger than Kim Kardashian's. Kim Kardashian has like 110 million Instagram followers, but Jeff Bezos has about 500 million paying customers. Not only that, Jeff Bezos' network is his own, and it's a network of people looking to buy things instead of just a network of people looking to look at photos of Kim Kardashian, right? So Jeff Bezos has the most valuable platform on earth. And after him, we've got Mark Zuckerberg, and his platform has 2 billion people on it. 2 billion, it's the largest platform on earth. And it's probably the most, it's the biggest success story in terms of platforms and network growth, like in the history of the world. And that's the reason why he is wealthy as he is, because it's not someone else's platform. He doesn't have 2 billion followers on Instagram or something. It's his own. Same with Jeff Bezos. So it's one thing to have a big following on somebody else's platform. It's another animal to have a huge platform that is your own. And with my platform, I have 800,000 plus emails on my list, and with that, I can generate $200,000 or more in sales from 4 email broadcasts. So if I'm ever caught in a situation where, let's say, my ads stop working for whatever reason, and I can just send out a couple of emails and drum up 200 grand. That's the power of having a platform like that. And that's why you always want to focus on growing your own platform. Now let's talk about how you actually do it. Growing your platform with small, deliberate efforts every day. So every single day you should be building your platform by doing the following things. Adding friends within your niche on Facebook and connections on LinkedIn, which is going to grow your network. And that's New Age Attraction, which we taught you in week 2, and we taught you again in week 4 here. And then scheduling 15-minute chats and strategy sessions with prospects. When you're doing this, you're building your sales pipeline. And your sales pipeline, just imagine it as a pipe that's full of people who are ready to have strategy sessions with you. And the more full your pipe is, and the less gaps there are in your pipe, then the more volume of sales and money it's going to pump out. So it's one thing to grow a network, but it's another thing to grow a pipeline. Your network feeds your pipeline, but you don't just want to grow your network without having a pipeline, right? So you're constantly thinking about all of these things. And then if we're running Facebook ads to your VSL funnel or your JIT webinar funnel or your 2K automated funnel, the 3 paid attraction methods we covered here in week 4, then this is going to be growing your email list. Not only that, it's going to be building your sales pipeline as well, because people will be scheduling strategy sessions, and you'll also be growing your email list at the same time. And more than that, you'll also be getting customers if you're running, or if you're doing the strategy sessions, or if you're running the 2K funnel. So for example, with my business, every day we get about 3,000 new emails, which is like 100,000 emails a month. So we're growing we're growing our email list every month. More than that, we're growing our Facebook following. I think ours grows at 100,000 or more a month, which is pretty crazy. And then we're also growing, our LinkedIn connections, and we're growing our email list, we're growing our pipeline for strategy sessions, and we're growing our customer list. So all of these are happening every day. And then pixeling people who click on your ads for retargeting. And this grows your retargeting list. So we'll teach you this in week 6 when we cover Facebook ads unleashed. But every time someone clicks on your ad, we pixel them. And now that they're pixeled, we don't have to target them through other audiences. We can now target them with retargeting audiences, which is much more powerful, much cheaper, much more effective. And then doing strategy sessions with prospects and signing them up to become clients. And this grows your customer list. Now, out of all of these, we define platform as really the combined thing of all of these. So it's your network on Facebook and LinkedIn, It's your sales pipeline of booked strategy sessions. It's your funnels and your email list and all of that. It's also your retargeting lists and the pixels and things, and your customer list too. And out of all of these, the most valuable thing is your customer list. Somebody who's purchased something from you is worth so much more money than somebody who just follows you on Facebook or LinkedIn. And so the next most valuable thing after that is pipeline. So people who have scheduled strategy sessions with you. After that, it would be your email list. And after that, it would be your personal connections on Facebook or LinkedIn. Actually, your personal connections on Facebook and LinkedIn, they're actually more valuable than an email. You know, email lists aren't what they used to be. I mean, they're still powerful things, but having a personal connection with someone as a friend on Facebook or as a connection on LinkedIn, where you direct message them and stuff, that bond and that connection and that person on that connection is worth way more than just their email address. So we'll put growing your network ahead of growing your email list in terms of value. And then finally, the least valuable would be like growing your retargeting list. Now, let's talk about deepening your relationships every day as well. Because remember, there's two things that are important: size and depth. And size is the number of people, depth is the depth of the relationship. And the depth is more important. So every day you should be bonding with your platform by doing the following: posting content on your personal Facebook and LinkedIn profiles every day. And what this does is it reminds them of you, right? People have an inbuilt bias where they believe that if they think about something a lot, then it must be important, regardless of the reason why they're thinking about you. This is a huge thing that Trump used in winning the elections. You know, a lot of the time, everyone talking about him was saying bad things about him. Like there was barely anyone saying anything good about him. But what that did is people were still talking about him. He was in their minds. So people thought he was way more important just because they were thinking about him a lot. And what wasn't weighed in that decision is what was the context of why they were thinking about him, right? This is a bias that humans have. So posting content on your personal Facebook and LinkedIn profiles every day, it has that effect. It keeps you in front of them. It keeps reminding them of you every day, and it keeps you in their mind at the top of it, at that top of mind awareness level, which is powerful. And then we do direct messaging to new friends and connections to see if you can help them. And by doing this, we really, this is the real thing that's going to build depth. Because it's one thing to just connect with someone on Facebook as a friend, right? I'm friends with so many people on Facebook. Actually, most people on Facebook, I don't even know who they are, right? And so that's one thing. And then if you post some content on Facebook and then someone starts watching it or liking it, I mean, that's another thing, but it's still not that deep. But a direct message where it goes back and forward and you actually start to understand the person, now that's a whole nother species of animal. You know, when you're actually messaging someone back and forward, then it changes everything. Now Facebook is, if they respond to you and things like that, Facebook is going to prioritize your posts when in the newsfeed of the person you're messaging. Because Facebook has page rank algorithms that basically, they look at you and the people that are in your friends list and how deep the connections are with those people. Now, if there's just a friendship and nothing else, then Facebook probably won't show your posts to them. It'll almost be like you don't even have them as a friend, right? I've got tons of friends on my list, and I've got 5,000 of them, and in reality I only have like 5 friends. And when I look at my newsfeed, which I barely ever do, but I sometimes look at it as an experiment, then when I look at that newsfeed, I only really see the people who I'm close with, and those are the people who I would have messaged back and forth, or the people that have tagged me in photos because we've been together or whatever, or the people who have liked my stuff and I've liked their stuff, right? So that's why depth is important. And when you send a direct message, you know, who sends direct messages back and forward to each other? Real friends, real family, right? That's not something that a nobody does. So just think about it from that perspective. Direct messaging, not only could we set up a 15-minute chat, not only could we get a strategy session, not only could we get a client, but we also improve the chances of them seeing our content each day on their newsfeed when we post. So very powerful. And at least once per week, you should be list farming and emailing your list updates. And what this does is it educates them, but not only that, it reminds them of you. So if they're used to seeing you in Facebook, as you post content and whatnot, and then if they go to their inbox and then, once a week you're there too, you start becoming familiar. They see your name in their inbox and they read your style of your writing. Then they see you on Facebook and they see your photos and your posts and things like that. And then you've direct messaged them, so they remember that, and then they might see you on LinkedIn. And now we're starting to kind of stick in someone's mind more. We're really making ourselves, we're really claiming a position in the top of mind awareness level within their mind. And at least once per month, you should do a live webinar with your list, and this both educates them and pitches them at the same time. So live webinars are great, even if you're running an automated JIT webinar. Like, live webinars are still great because sometimes people just want to show up to a live thing to see what you're like live, right? I've got an automated webinar which runs 24/7, 365 and has done for like 3 damn years, and pretty much everyone in this space has probably seen it or registered for it because it's just been constantly promoted. But yet, every time I do a live one, it works because there's some people who just want to see you live and see you give your pitch in a different way and hear the different questions and things you answer at the end. And, that's why a live one is a really good thing to do at least once a month. And what you don't want to be is a fly-by-night opportunist. And you want to not be a fly-by-night opportunist. You want to stay in front of your platform daily. So human beings trust what's familiar to them, and they have an inbuilt bias to see things. They have an inbuilt bias to things they see every day. And this is why it's important to stay in front of your platform daily and never stop. So you think about how you trust somebody. Think back to like childhood or something. When you don't trust someone and you're skeptical of them, it's because they're new. They're foreign to you. But then the more that person, chats to you and whatnot, think about how you got your friends back at school. You first meet someone and you're a bit unsure about them and whatnot. But then the more you talk to them each day, and it's just a gradual process, they start becoming more familiar and they start becoming, you get more comfortable around them and you start trusting them and you start recognizing their face, their voice and all of that. And it gets to a point where, you really trust them. Now, when human beings really have an algorithm in their brain for figuring out trust, it's really not that accurate. Like, they don't actually run a balance sheet of the person's, lies and all of that. I mean, some people do, but really what most of trust is based on is just familiarity. So the more they've seen that person, the higher they are in their awareness in their mind, the more they trust them, right? So that's how you build trust, is by constantly staying in front of someone over a long period of time. And it goes without saying that you also keep your word, right? Like you should never lie, you should always do what you say you're going to do, and you should do all of that stuff. But on top of that, that's not enough. If that's all you do, then the reality of the matter is that you are a trustworthy person and they should do business with you. But they don't believe that because they haven't seen that. And so that's why on top of that, we must stay in front of them on a daily basis. And I've got a perfect example for this. Like, everyone who's been my customer knows that, I look after my customers, right? The products are always exactly what I say they're going to be, and they're actually better. And there's never anything I promise that doesn't happen. And so my customers know that things are good, and they also know the results that other people get. So they're so aware that it's not a scam. Yet people who aren't customers, they don't see all of that stuff. they don't get to run that balance sheet equation in their mind when they're deciding whether they should trust me or not. Because all they see is they're like, well, this guy's new, I've never seen him before, so I don't trust him. And I fell for this. I thought, oh, the only thing that matters is that I'm actually just telling the truth and delivering great things and all of that. And don't get me wrong, that is the most important thing at the end of the day. But what I had missed was staying in front of people on a daily basis and really growing that top-of-mind awareness trust. So don't make the same mistake I did. Now that, I've really found out what I did wrong there, I've stayed in front of my platform every single day, and it's transformed our business. So many people who were on our email list for like 2-3 years have now purchased and come over because they now trust me or they've now seen the real me, and our sales conversion rate and ROI and everything has gone up. So I can't stress that point enough. And this is when I was keeping my word and doing everything right, but just not staying in front of people. So both are important. Now, why most people fail? So most so-called experts enter a new niche, try to make some money within the first 1 to 2 months, and then bail out because it didn't work as well as they had planned. And the reason why this happens is because, it takes time for people to build up trust. Like, you're not going to enter a new niche and just skyrocket. That doesn't happen. And it might happen in a bubble, in like the peak of a bubble, like let's say it's cryptocurrency, right? Someone can enter that bubble at the height of its mania and not know anything and be brand new, and they can ride that wave and make a quick windfall of cash, but then boof, the thing explodes and it's gone and they can't repeat it again. So it's best not to even worry about those things and just focusing on building it the right way. And your market is watching you. They see your ads. When you're advertising to them, they see them. And they see your efforts. They can see that there's a new person in this niche and they're like, oh, this is interesting. But they're skeptical. And they have every right to be. They should be skeptical because you're brand new. And you're new to them and you're a risky bet. And some will buy as early adopters, but mass adoption comes with trust and time. So the cool thing about business is there will always be people willing to give you a shot because, they know that business involves risk, and they know that early adoption, while it is risky, it can lead to an advantage over the competition. If someone tries you early and you end up getting them awesome results and they took the risk, well, they've got the awesome results before everyone else. So that's the cool thing in business. We do get some of the market immediately. But the big money and the mass adoption, that comes with trust and time. My big conversion rates and, my big sales numbers and all of that, it all came after years of advertising and posting and staying in front of my market. Now, let's talk about how to grow your platform by cross-pollinating networks. So cross-pollinating networks is when we interlink all of our platforms so that a rising tide lifts all ships, and growth in one platform feeds the growth of another, which in turn feeds the growth of another. And this is seriously powerful stuff. So what I mean by this is, we're adding friends on Facebook. We're also adding friends or connections on LinkedIn. And we're also posting content on Facebook and LinkedIn. But every now and then, we want to interlink these things, right? So every now and then, if we do a post on Facebook that links back to our LinkedIn, now we're starting to put connections between Facebook and LinkedIn. And then if we do every now and then a post on LinkedIn that goes to our Facebook, then we're starting to connect those. And then every now and then, if we do a post on our blog, on our website, and then we grab the URL for that, and then we post that on Facebook, now we're linking Facebook to our blog, right? And now we're starting to interconnect all of these things, and we're starting to really assemble a big web. You think about how the internet works. It's just a ton of pages all linked together with hyperlinks, but everything's interconnected in an insane way. There's so much interconnectivity, it's absurd to think about. because then it's not just about links, it's about Facebook like buttons. And someone can go to a website and then click like on it, and that now puts a link between that website and that person's Facebook profile. And then there's comments, and that links things. And then there's like Google Shares, and there's all sorts of things. So it's a big interconnected web. And when you're growing your platform, you want to think about it like this too. You want to try and interconnect these things. Not all the time, because if you do that, the algorithm senses what you're doing. Right? If all you do is post links back to your blog, Facebook will start to penalize your reach, because Facebook doesn't want people to be leaving their platform all the time. Facebook wants people to engage on their platform. So most of the posts you do should be without links, and they should be just getting people to stay there by posting a photo or a video or just some text that just is helpful for people, and then they can just like it or comment or whatever. That's what Facebook wants. They don't want people leaving their platform, because then they're off. And when they're off, they don't get paid for ads, and they don't have engagement. So keep that in mind. But every now and then you want to drop a link between these different things. And you want to post content across all platforms. So when you do your daily posts, you want to post on your personal Facebook profile and your Facebook fan page, which is the fan page you use for ads, and you want to post on your personal LinkedIn. And if the post is special, like if it's actually a really good post, which happens every now and then, and you should have at least one of these a week, then put that post in an email broadcast and mail it out too. And what a lot of people think here is that, oh, but I don't want to post the same thing across different things, because then everyone will see it and they'll be like, why is this guy posting the same thing? You're assuming that everybody is looking at you on all channels, which is not the case. That is not how it works. If someone sees something on Facebook, then there's a very low chance the same day they're going to log in on LinkedIn and see that there too, right? It's more like they're going to see that on LinkedIn or Facebook. So you're doubling your chances of actually reaching them with that message by posting it on both channels. And when something's good, we want to send an email broadcast out too, because that improves the chances of them seeing it. If we post it on Facebook, LinkedIn, and our fan page, and we put it in a broadcast, then chances are there's still like less than 50% that everyone's definitely going to see that, but they're still higher. And another thing you want to do is connect on all platforms. So when somebody accepts your Facebook friend request, add them as a connection on LinkedIn immediately. Because if someone's just accepted on Facebook, they're going to accept on LinkedIn. Because when they go to LinkedIn and they see your request there, your face is going to be familiar to them. And because they've already accepted you there, they're going to follow the same suit here. They're going to just accept. So it's a guaranteed connection. And also, when a person sees that you've added them twice on two different things, they're going to start to be more curious about you. They're going to look into you with more depth. And when somebody accepts your LinkedIn connection request, add them on Facebook and strengthen all bonds across the channels. And as you're building your web, you want to make sure that it all leads back to you. So when building your network across platforms, make sure that some posts lead back to your website, funnel, or an article that you posted on your blog, which is essentially all of these things are back on your website. And why we want to do this is to make sure that all the vectors lead back to us. Because we want to spread a wide web out there across all sorts of different platforms. But unless all of those vectors eventually terminate and end back on our site, then it's not really our platform. So I'll give you like some perfect examples. There's people who have like big social media followings and things, like Kim Kardashian or Casey Neistat or these different people, right? But unless it comes back to your website, then that platform isn't in that network, it isn't really that valuable. And you'll notice if you go and look at all the content I post and how I do all of this stuff, if you follow the web for long enough, it'll always come back. And if you follow it properly, it'll always come back to one key page. And I'm tempted not to tell you what that page is, just because it would be a cool little treasure hunt for you to do, but I'll show you it right now. This is what happens. So if I go here to my Facebook fan page, so here we are, right? So if I look down here, the first thing I've got up here is that, there's a video that I have that sticks up the top, and if you go see more on it, down the bottom it actually goes back to free training, which is my webinar, right? So first of all, right up the top of this, I have pinned this post, which is a good idea sometimes, just pinning one video or a post that explains your story and has the main call to action. That means that if anyone's browsing your Facebook profile here, then it gets your value proposition across, and it offers them something, and it puts them into your most powerful funnel, and it gives them a link. But let's look at posts I do. So here's a student interview, but you can notice here that we uploaded this interview to Facebook video, and we didn't include a link. Facebook likes this because, we're not trying to farm people back to our website. We're keeping them on Facebook. And we're not trying to post a YouTube video on here because Facebook hates YouTube. All these big platforms hate each other because they want to own everything. So if you put a YouTube link over here, then, Facebook's not going to like that. But if you use their native video, they'll like that. Then here's just a post. This one, doesn't really have a link. Here's, the video, 2-hour-long video, and it doesn't have a link. And then here's just a photo, but let me find, this is the video here, this one here, that was a blog post, but we uploaded a native video. Still no link, right? Because you get way more reach, and Facebook, really likes it more when you don't link back. So a lot of the time we don't have a link, but here's one where we do. So you can see we do, I would say on average, only 10% of our posts have links, and the other 90% don't, because they like that more. Now here I talk about a new blog post, and then I link to it here. And if I click here, this takes me back to this blog post here. Now what's cool is when you grab the link from your blog post and then you post it on Facebook, you'll notice here that this has like 128 likes or something, but when somebody likes this here, it adds a like here, right? So it connects everything because you're starting to build an interconnected web, and so you get the point here. But if somebody comes to Facebook here, then they click this link, then they come back to this blog. Now if they click play here, now this is a YouTube video, and if we go to this YouTube video, then you can see here in the description, I've linked it back to the blog, which has the YouTube video embedded in it. So I've interconnected all of these different things, and then I've put the Facebook like button here, and then I've shared this thing on Facebook. So I'm really starting to connect them all together. And then down here, I've linked them to the landing page for the webinar. So I've put them into my funnel. And more than that, on the side here, the only call to action on our whole website is join the revolution, which takes them here to the landing page. So it doesn't matter where anyone follows our web to, it'll always come back to one landing page, because we want to make sure that all of the vectors face back to the one point we want everyone to go. You can see all of this linking. Now I'm going to tell you how to do the YouTube's, how to do some YouTube stuff later on in the program, but you don't want to start off by doing it. I'm not going to show you how to do YouTube ads in UpLevel, but I'm going to show you how to do one video a week and then post that on YouTube and then embed it on your blog and then share it and do different things like that, because that can be a really good way to stir the pot. But it's not going to really move the needle and generate you sales in the short term. So it's something that isn't important to us right now. And so that's why we want to make sure that our web and our platform always links back to our website, because we own that, and ultimately back to the funnel, because unless someone goes through that funnel, then chances are we're not going to make any money. So it always has to lead back there. Now, building your platform takes effort and time. But once you gain momentum, you get the snowball effect. And what the snowball effect basically is it's a metaphor that relates to gaining momentum or compound interest. And what happens is something that starts small and gains momentum, it starts to pick up more mass. So you imagine a snowball rolling down a mountain. As it rolls, it picks up more and more mass. It gets bigger, 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 until that thing turns into something that it has a devastating force. And that's also how an avalanche starts. Sometimes it can just be a sound or a tiny little piece of snow slipping, and then as that avalanche gains more momentum, it becomes deadly. And this is how your platform is going to grow. It will start small, and it will start out and when you're starting to build it, you'll feel like, oh, this is like pushing a stationary train. No one's really liking, no one's really commenting. I'm not really getting much, I'm definitely not getting clients from this. But be patient. As you keep building on it, it will keep growing. Now, let's bring all of our client attraction methods together into a cohesive plan, because we've covered 6 or 7 of them, and now we've got to bring them all together and really think, how are we going to interconnect these things, and how are we going to use a mixture of these things instead of just one, because it's the multi-channel stuff that's powerful. So here's a quick recap of all of our attraction methods that we've covered in week 4. So number 1 is New Age attraction, which is organic, and you know this well. This is growing and farming your personal network on Facebook and LinkedIn. Number 2 is live webinars, which is organic, and this is emailing your list and inviting them to a live webinar with a strategy session offer at the end. And then number 3 is list farming emails, again organic. And these are email broadcasts to your list to update them, make offers, share success stories, etc. Then the final organic one, JV webinars, number 4. And these are webinars with influencers who have your audience and endorse you to them. So those are the 4 organic methods. Now we go into the paid methods. There's 3 of them. So 5, the VSL funnel with Facebook ads. This is paid. So this is Facebook ads to a simple funnel with a value video and the strategy session offer at the end. Then 6, JIT webinar funnel with paid Facebook ads. And this is Facebook ads to a 45-minute to an hour webinar with a strategy session offer at the end. And then the 7th one, the 2K automated funnel driven with paid Facebook ads. And this is Facebook ads to a 2-hour webinar that sells the program at the end, and there's no human sales component. So these are the 7 methods. This week's called 6 rapid promo strategies, but there's really 7 in here. Because the 7th one is kind of just added in as a bonus. Most of what people use to get their consulting businesses to 6 figures, 7 figures, even 8 figures is the first 6. Because Andrew Argue's gotten to $1 million a month. Same with Lathan Fritz. He's not at $1 million, but he's at $842,000 a month, which is still 8 figures, right? Those guys got there without number 7. So when I say there's 6, those are the main 6. And I've included an extra bonus one, 7. Now let's talk about combining all attraction methods together into one plan. So now that you're familiar with all of our attraction methods, it's time to combine them into a healthy multi-channel plan so that we can execute and win. Why do we need a plan? Well, we need a plan of attack to follow each day. Otherwise, too much thinking time and decision fatigue is wasted each day thinking, what should I do today to promote, and on what channel, what should I say, right? If you leave it up to the day, you spend too much time thinking about it. It's like wearing fancy clothes every day, right? I don't know if you've ever tried to do that, but it's the biggest waste of mental energy in the world. That's why these days I just wear the same thing every day. I've got the same pair of shorts in 5 different colors. I wear the same pair of shoes every day. I only have 1 pair of shoes. And even underwear, I just have the same. They're just over 20 pairs of black Calvin Kleins. So I'd never even have to think between the different ones. They're all just the same. The shorts, they're all the same. They fit the same. They're just different colors. And then the t-shirts, I have like 10 t-shirts that are just different colors, but they're all the same. So that way I just grab any t-shirt, any pair of shorts, and just put on my shoes. It removes a whole bunch of decision fatigue, which means that I can use that decision energy for other things throughout the day. And if you're doing promotions, if every day you think, oh, what should I do today? Then that's just chewing up too much time, too much energy. And especially thinking, okay, but then on what channel? And should it be an image? Should it be a video? Should it be an email? It's just too much. So that's why we want to create a plan to front load and batch all of that. And then day to day, we just execute. We don't have to think. And a healthy multi-channel mix. So all great promotions these days happen across multiple channels to reach people in different modes of consumption. And running a multi-channel promotion is impossible without a plan to execute, because we want different things to interconnect. We want to send an email broadcast, but then we also want to post things on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we want to have a mix of all of these things. And if we're just thinking about this each day, then it's not going to come together and have a healthy mix, because it's just too much to think about each day. So by having a plan, we make it easier on ourselves, we're more productive, more efficient, and we actually have a healthier mix and a better promotion. So when it comes to creating a plan, how do you know how much of each one to do? Well, I've put together a winning formula for mixing promotions that you can model off of. So here's a winning formula you can use for cross-pollinating networks and creating a firestorm in your market. And this is available for download beneath this video in the resources section. It's called Winning Promotional Formula, Winning Promo Formula. And this is basically what you should try and do each day, each week, each month. So some of these are daily things, weekly things, monthly things. So every day, add 50 new Facebook friends. Every day, add 30 new LinkedIn connections. And then every day, private message everybody who accepts your friend connection on Facebook and your LinkedIn connection. Then post something on Facebook and LinkedIn every day, piece of content. Then email your list with an update or a case study or a piece of content or an offer at least once per week. And then host a live webinar with your list once a month. And then ask your existing clients for testimonials and post them as content monthly or weekly if possible. So if all you can get is one client testimonial a month, that's fine. Grab that, post it on your different channels. If it's really good, send it out as an email. But if you can get it weekly, even better. We do daily. So we've got thousands of testimonials, and every single day we will post one on YouTube. Every single day we'll post one on Facebook, one on, I don't think we do it on LinkedIn because it would be too much there, and then we post that on Twitter and everything. So every day we're sharing like a new testimonial and a new case study. Now, you won't be able to do one a day right now, but just one a month is fine, but one a week's even better. But try and do at least one a month, because testimonials and case studies really help you build momentum. And you're laying out all of these essential breadcrumbs out there on the internet so that when people go and try digging up information on you, which they will, not everyone, but a lot will. When someone hears about someone, they do some research, some due diligence. And when you've started to drop all of these breadcrumbs all over the place, like testimonials, content posts, people stumble across it and it creates a compelling story, and it's like laying bait to bring them back to you. And then once per month, find your best case study or testimonial and email it to your list as a feature piece. So what we do is if we find a really good case study or a testimonial, so I'll give you a prime example. Last week, Lathan Fritz posted in the Consulting Accelerator Facebook group, and he said, ring the bell, just got to 8 figures, right? And so when I saw that, I was like, this is something that's worthy of sending out as an email. So I immediately took a screenshot of it, posted it on LinkedIn, posted it on my fan page and everything, but then I also posted it on Instagram and stuff, and then I went into the email tool and I sent an email broadcast to my entire list as well. So when something is really good and it's newsworthy for everyone, then grab that piece and blast it out to everybody. So that's a good winning formula. Now this is available for download beneath this video in the resources section as a pinup or a cheat sheet. So I would grab that right now and I'd print it out and put it up on your wall, because this is the stuff that's going to move the needle, and this is the stuff that's going to build momentum. In the short term, you're going to get clients with this. In the long term, you're going to have a lot of momentum. You know, I started out as a nobody in my niche. Literally a nobody. I didn't know anything. I thought copywriting was that little C at the bottom of the page. And then I wondered why everyone was so obsessed with it and they kept talking about it. I knew literally nothing. I remember when I first built my website and got it up online, I was wondering why it wasn't ranking in Google like #1 for Sam Ovens. Like, I was totally clueless. And I was completely broke. And, you know, just through chipping away at this each day and just grinding at it and just sticking to it and just every day putting in a small piece of effort, I've been able to scale it now to the point where we own consulting.com and our company is, you know, making more than 20 million a year. And it's hard to tell you how this will all compound and snowball over time, but it will. So you've just got to trust the process, stick with it, and grind at it each day. And I can't stress this point enough in week 4. You have to remember it's a combination that works. It's not just ads. It's not just list farming. It's not just new age attraction. It's all of it, a nice healthy mix. I've seen people who just focus on ads get burned. I've seen people who just focus on live webinars get burned. I've seen people who just focus on organic get burned. I've seen people who just focus on email marketing get burned. I've seen every one of these people get burned when they just have one singular focus on promotions. You want to have a healthy mix. Now, let's talk about planning your promotions for the next 30 days and then executing on that plan violently. So, architecting the perfect storm. So now that you're aware of your client attraction, or now that you're aware of our 7 client attraction methods, and you have a winning formula and mix that you can copy from, it's time to design the perfect storm to impose on your market. And you want to plot this on your warm app calendar. So right now, I want you to pull up your warm app calendar, which I introduced to you back in week 2 and again in week 3, because this thing is the ultimate tool. If there's one tool I use the most, other than my laptop and the internet, it would be my warm app calendar. I honestly use that thing more than my phone and more than a pen. I use it more than anything. And my successful students use it religiously too. So start making it like one of your main go-to tools each day. So pull it up right now. If you don't have it, if you haven't started using it yet, then it's available for download. It's called Warm App Calendar. When you download it, it'll be an Excel file, all right? But then what you want to do is you want to click this blue link up the top, and it will open it up inside of Google Docs, and then you can go here, go File, make a copy, and then you'll be able to save it to your own drive, and you'll be able to make edits to it. But here you can see how it works. So what you want to do is you want to plot on your warm app the next 30 days of promotions. So the first thing is to pull up your warm app and look at the next 30 days from now from a high level. And you want to start thinking about what you want to achieve in 30 days' time and then what's required to get there. So if I pull this up right now and I'm going to go into the month we're in, let's say we're in January. And let's say it's the 19th, right? So this is where I'm going to start. And if I'm going to plan for 30 days, well then this would be day 1. So I don't even think I can edit this because you've got to make a copy. But let's say this would be day 1, and then Feb 19th would be like day 30. That would be the next 30 days. So you first of all want to look at that. And then you want to think, where do you want to be in 30 days' time? So here, what stage do you want to be at? Do you want to have an extra 5 clients, 10 clients? I mean, how many? So let's say that I want to get 10 clients in the next 30 days. And if I'm charging $5,800 for mine, then that's $58,000 in the next 30 days. Not bad. And by all means, you can go higher than that. A lot of people do on their first month. But it's totally up to you. You know what you want to achieve, so write that down and then reverse engineer it back. Now, if I want to get 10 clients, let's say I'm going to close at 20%. That means that I have to do, if I do 100 calls, then I could get 20 clients. But if I want 10 clients, then I need to do 50 calls. But I want to be more prudent than that. I definitely don't want to undershoot my goals, so I'm gonna aim for 60 calls. And if I do that, then that's factoring me in at like 15% or something closing rate, right? But if I close at 20, then I make even more money, so we're all good. So if I need to do 60 calls in the next 30 days, that's 2 calls a day. Now, if I want to generate 2 calls a day, 60 in total, then I probably need to do quite a lot of outbound. So I need to add at least 50 friends a day on Facebook. So I'm going to refer to our winning promo formula cheat sheet, and I'm going to follow this. I'm going to make sure I do 50 Facebook friends every day. From that, 25 will accept. If I message 25, let's say 12 will respond back. Of those 12, let's say that gets me like, 1 strategy session a day. Then let's say LinkedIn gets me 1 a day as well. And this is when I private message everyone as well and do the posts and everything. So let's say if I follow this here, I should expect to get 2 strategy sessions a day and 10 clients in a month and 58,000 in the next 30 days. Not a bad plan. So I come back here, and now that I've reverse engineered it and I know what I need to do, now it's time to start plotting everything in. So first things first, you want to plot the mandatory things first. So family events, masterminds, travel, creating your program content, and other things that aren't negotiable. So if you have like a family event that is absolutely happening, don't be delusional and not mark it in your calendar, because otherwise you might think, I will be able to get some work done that day, but if you can't, then you're going to be falling behind. So block out everything. If you need to do like kids things on a Saturday or a Sunday, whatever, block it out and put in the mandatory things first. Also, if you're attending a mastermind or hosting one, block it out. If it's going to take a day to travel somewhere, block it out, because when you're traveling for a day, you can't really get much work done. So block those things out first over the next 30 days, and then what you'll be looking at is a very real, like how much time do I actually have? And if you have less time than you thought, then you have to start doing more strategy sessions per day. So if you can't work at it every day and you've got other events and things in here, then you might actually need to do 4 strategy sessions a day, right? This is why it's good to just look at the facts. And also, a lot of you are probably still in the middle of creating your program. Right now we're trying to build out our programs. A lot of you are still probably at like week 4, week 5. Some of you might only be at week 1 or 2, right? So you're going to need time to make each new week each week. And that might take you 1 to 2 days. So 2 days a week you're going to have to block out on your calendar. Choose what they are, block them out. And that's what I was saying. This is why your time will start to go down, and you'll see you actually you have a very limited number of days to do your promotions and your strategy sessions. That's why planning on the war map is essential. And once we've done that, then you want to plot your promotions. And to do that, you want to start with the everyday tasks from the winning formula cheat sheet. So if I pull this thing up, all the ones that say every day we want to try and post first. So if I'm going to add 50 Facebook friends, 30 LinkedIn connections every day, I'm going to write that. So I might write 50 FB and then 50 LI, and then I might say message everybody who accepts, right? And then I might say 1 times FB post and LinkedIn post, and that's what I'm doing every day. And then I'll write that out for every single day that I'm able to do that. right? Then, let's say once a week I'm going to email my list. So let's say I'm going to email it every Thursday. I'd put in here, send email broadcast to list. And then, like, let's say a live webinar once a month. If you don't have a list right now, then I wouldn't really worry about it. But if you do, if you've got more than 100 people on it, then you could host one towards the end of the month or something. Choose a day for that, block it in. And then let's say, you're going to do one client testimonial. Just estimate when you might be able to get that one and put it in. And then this is how we take this winning formula and we start plotting it in day to day. Now let's talk about your action items. So the first one is winning promo formula. Now what I want you to do is download the cheat sheet and pin it up on your wall so that you never forget what you need to be doing daily, weekly, and monthly to build your platform and start brewing your storm. And the 30-day promo warm-up calendar. So plot your plan of attack for the next 30 days on your warm-up calendar so that you have a healthy mix of promotions and you do what's necessary to get where you want to go. I can't tell you enough, just looking at what this training is one thing. Printing out the winning formula thing and pinning it up, that's another thing. Now you're starting to be more aware of this, which is, if you're more aware of it, it's more likely to get done. But once it's in your calendar, once it's scheduled and premeditated, then it's way more likely to get done. So make sure you do all of these things. I don't just tell them to you because it's a nice thing to do, or because I'm trying to create work for you. I plan everything. I plot everything every day, every hour, every month, every week, every quarter, every year, and that's one of the reasons why I'm able to, execute along a path that leads to where I want to go, instead of just executing in 1,000 different directions and really going nowhere. And the final one is to execute violently every day. So now that you know what works and you've plotted your daily actions for the next 30 days, all that's left to do is execute. So make sure you get everything done every day and never waver, not once. You have to get what's in that warm-up done. Come hell or high water, you have to get it done. Sometimes you might get home from work late if you've got a job. Well, not many people actually have a job in up-level. But let's say you're busy with all of this other stuff in your business because there was a fire, right? There's always a little fire in the business, or something goes wrong, or some client was playing up, or some software had some issues, right? Let's say that happens, because that shit's going to happen. That happens all the time. And then let's say it's 10:30, 11:30 at night and you're tired and you're like, I have every right to go to bed early because I have every right to go to bed now because I'm tired and I've done a lot of work today. But if you haven't done what's in that warm-up, don't be weak. Get it done. If you're going to lose some sleep, if you're going to be exhausted, if it's going to be lower quality than what you had hoped, doesn't matter, get it done. Because if you don't get what's in your warm-up executed, then, the thing that's going to happen is you're going to fall behind, get demotivated, and go off the rails. But when you keep executing on that warm-up and you keep gaining momentum, you'll get that snowball effect and big things will come. So let's get to work and start brewing the storm. Thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next week, which is going to be week 5, and we're going to cover in detail our 3 paid attraction funnels and how to set them up, how to do the marketing automation, how to do all of the tech stuff, and all of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in that one right now.